Hello, my name is Lorenzo Endaño, and this is an Architectural Graphics 2 project. So the topic I'm going to be talking about is shades and shadows, and the most common question anyone gets is, what is the difference between shades and shadows? It's simple if you think about it this way. Shade is the darkness that is not indirect light. Shadow is the silhouette of an object that is casted onto another surface. So from the shade and shadow, we get other factors that derive from it. We get the shade line, the shadow line, and the shadow plane. The shade line is easy to distinguish, being that it's the line that separates an illuminated area from one that is not. The shadow line is the one that is casted by the shade line. And the shadow plane is a plane of light rays that go through, that pass through, and create the shape of the shadow. The other question we get is, why are shades and shadows important in architecture? These are important because they create special spaces. Buildings are static objects, so the shadows that are casted help make the building have a sense of fluidity, of movement. It is important to study the effect of solar radiation and the shadow patterns on thermal comfort. And these also help with energy conservation, being that the shaded areas are cooler than the ones that are not. So when drawing shades and shadows, these give a spectra a better sense on how the building was lit. It's simple to draw a perspective view with shade and shadow. Let's take a cube for instance. We draw a cube under a 2-point view perspective. After having drawn it, we determine where our light source is going to be. This may be the sun. To determine the vanishing point, we draw a vertical line under the light source to determine it. To know the length of the shadow, we draw a line to each of the top corners of the cube that converge from the light source. It's better to use color, that way you don't get lost. Then, we draw a line to each of the bottom corners that converge to the shadow vanishing point. Finally, after having drawn the lines, we will be able to see where these collide. Next, we mark the spots where these collide and then connect the dots. The shape that this forms will be the shadow. Don't forget to shade it in. Lastly, don't forget to shade in lightly the walls that are not under direct sunlight.